What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk to you today about this AARP digital article on 10 ways to face your fears going to the gym. So I thought this was pretty cool. I'm a fan of AARP magazine, and I think the content that they put out, it definitely ranges from really, really good content to, general kind of like we got to cover all of our bases kind of content. But the majority of the time, they put in a pretty good amount of work and research, and they find some pretty good people to interview and some good stuff. So as I was kind of tooling around, I'm still in recovery mode. I had scar tissue removed from my ribs, my chest, and so I'm still a little wrapped up here, and I've just been taking in content and reviewing some stuff. And I came across this, so I thought, hey, let's dive into it here. Let's see a little bit my thoughts on this article. So, number one, thought it was kind of funny, the picture, man and woman working out at a gym. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Yeah, that's pretty good. we have these impressions or these thoughts of what it's supposed to look like when you work out in a gym, and it's almost always, somebody sitting on a machine or somebody doing bicep curls. There's one time I'd love to see somebody doing, like a deadlift with a kettlebell or a hex bar, or, climbing a rope, or doing an inverted row, or doing something that's, kind of outside like the traditional curls, leg press, etc. All right. So let's dive into this. Our 10 strategies. Number one, check out the scene. So if you're new to a fitness facility, go to the gym and ask for a tour. Rachel Goldman is a licensed psychologist in New York City and a clinical assistant professor of psychiatry at NYU. So she's the advisor through this whole thing, and this is all, 10 strategies, if you will, to overcome your anxieties of going to the gym. I think getting an orientation, getting a tour of the gym, great idea. Most of the time when you go into a facility for the first time, so let's say you're brand new, you've been listening to me for a couple of videos now, and you're like, okay, he says sarcopenia is bad, osteopenia is bad, I gotta go work out. What's the first thing to do? Well, if I'm gonna go join the gym, let's figure out what they have in the gym, and let's figure out what equipment is in here and how do I use it. Typically, the person that's gonna give you the tour is not the person you want to show you how to use the machines. So in most cases, okay, not all, but in most cases, the person that's giving you the tour is like the sales manager, and their job is to sell you on the idea of becoming a member. And so they're going to highlight and show you all this great stuff, and you're going to go, oh cool, look at this is amazing, look at this equipment, and here's the spa, and here's the the pool, and here's the yada yada, the atrium, and the drinks, and the facials, and the massage, and blah blah blah. And you're like, oh great. But what they don't know is how to use any of the equipment typically, okay? Every once in a while it's the same person, but usually not, okay? So if you're gonna do this, like take the general tour and then sign up for an orientation specific to the fitness facility. Usually they walk you around, they teach you how to use the machines, show you a couple of free weight exercises-ish. If you want anything more than that, you're gonna need to sign up for a personal training session or multiple sessions. But orientation, like get used to your environment, is 100% accurate. What you don't want to do is wander around the gym and be like, I have no idea what's over there, what's over here. Like get familiar so you don't look like it's your first time in there, even though it might be. Going with a friend, I could not agree more. Hey, look, there's my buddy Pete McCall. I love Pete. Pete, certified personal trainer at Carlsbad, California. Pete is the author of Ageless Intensity, high intensity workouts to slow the aging process. Pete's a really good buddy of mine. My book is overhead. I can't reach it up there, but I reference Pete's book all the time. And I love Pete. The gym offers a community of like-minded people, and it's entertainment where you can feed off the energy and the motivation through vicarious experiences. So I agree, like your opportunity to feed off the energy of other people, especially if that other person knows what they're doing. So if you have a friend who's like a fitness enthusiast and they work out all the time, and you're like, hey, I want to get into this, could you teach me, or could you just show me around? Like let that other person kind of show you the norms and walk you about and teach you a lot of the basics, because unfortunately there are a lot of things, number one, that you could do to really get hurt, but number two that you could do that just make you look stupid. And it's that opportunity, like looking kind of dumb, that will turn people off from going to the gym, but also that all like the regular gym goers, they're like, here's another one, right? Dummy doing bicep curls in the squat rack, or typical girl just does the hip machines for an hour. Like there's these stereotypes and these typicals that everybody kind of sees all the time. And they are stereotypes because it does kind of more commonly occur. And older people are going to be typically on the machines. Younger people are going to be typically doing free weights, and those that are already in like decent shape are the ones that like rule the roost. They're the ones that like you give priority, you get out of their way. Everybody else is kind of secondary. There's a whole environment, a whole community, and a feel in the gym that, number one, you want to make sure you kind of understand and you get the feel of. But number two is not feeling like you don't belong there, because everybody, even the super stud you see, doing something amazing in the gym, they started their first day feeling uncomfortable, feeling out of place, feeling like they don't belong there. And they had somebody introduce them or like work them in and like teach them all the ropes. We all started there. Everybody started in this environment of, I'm uncomfortable, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm sure I look stupid, doing this. I've fallen off benches. I've tripped and tumbled over machines. I've had cables and things break while I'm using them. I mean, it's, you name it. Anytime you'll hear me teaching, I'll say, hey, make sure you guys don't blah, 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 blah. It's because I've done blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is that's, disastrous, I've done it. So having a friend, having somebody that has been there, they've done it, they're doing it currently, it's not like, oh, I used to lift 20 years ago. Let's be, up to date and make sure they know how to use everything. Okay, that's a really good idea. All right, arrive early to your first class. I would agree. I think getting in and feeling this is another comfortable, let me get in early, survey my space. If you're taking an actual class, like a bar class or a resistance training class or a yoga class, get there early, meet the instructor, ask, hey, what am I supposed to do at certain times? I don't want to, slow down the group, etc. My first time, like just kind of lay the foundation. And instructors and coaches, trainers, we don't succeed in this industry by making people feel out of place and awkward and, having them quit. Like our job is to make you feel welcome and to feel like, okay, I can do this right away. So there's no shame in telling them, hey, I'm a rookie. Hey, this is my first time. Like do that. They'll give you a little extra attention and really make sure you're in a good place. Focus while you're there on why you're there. And this, it goes to the mindset. We have short-term goals and we have long-term goals. And in the immediate session, like the one session that you're in, it's one step in this mile-long pursuit of whatever it is you're going to go and do. Don't get too caught up with here's where I have to go. I'm so out of shape. Like kind of live in the now. That's our Wayne's World. Live in the now, man. Like that really does come into play here. And I think Goldman and Pete both kind of mentioned it at different parts in here, is focus on why you're there in this very moment. Like I want to feel good. I want to feel strong, and I want to feel confident in what I'm doing right now. So just stay present, stay focused, you're good. Don't play the comparison game. You're definitely going to run into people in the gym that, their body and their fitness that they do, whatever that is, weightlifting, Olympic lifting, bodybuilding, powerlifting, body weight, gymnastics, whatever it is, whatever you're witnessing, they are expert level. They are to the umpteenth degree. It's amazing to watch. Don't compare yourself to them. Don't even compare yourself to other people that are of the same. Like, hey, I'm 60 and it's my first time. You might see somebody else who's 60 and it's their first time, and they did construction their whole life and they come in and they're just crushing, right? Well, they've done a physical labor job their whole life. So don't compare. Just focus on who you are and what you are right now, and try to take a snapshot of that, and then look at what you are, in 6 or 8 or 12 weeks. And not that I need you to like take a bikini photo or do measurements, but it is nice sometimes to be like, okay, this shirt and this pair of pants, they're pretty tight. I'm uncomfortable. I probably wouldn't wear these out in public. Maybe take a picture of yourself wearing that and save it, Everybody's phone has like a little hidden file where nobody else can see it if they open your phone, right? Like put it in there just so nobody finds it except for you. And then 8 or 10 or 12 weeks later, try putting those clothes on again. Take another photo and you're like, hey, they're baggy. I totally wear this. Like, I got to get a new wardrobe now. That's one of those really cool moments where you can compare, but you're comparing you day 1 to day 90, or whatever it might be. So yeah, definitely don't compare yourself to other folks there. That's not a good use of your time. All right, peaceful mindset. While you're there, acknowledge others and then push aside the focus of what they're doing right now. Goldman says opportunity to tune and listen to your body. Yeah, I mean, we want to connect to our mind and our body while we're doing this experience. If you go in with I just got to get it done. This is just a checklist. He said do 30 minutes. You want to enjoy this, and that's why I say whatever your level of fitness or your interest of fitness. I don't always say it has to be resistance training. I do believe there has to be resistance included, okay? But there's all kinds of fitness out there for you. So I don't care what it is that you're doing. As long as you are challenging yourself, your body is pushing against resistance, you are manipulating outside load, then I say you're doing it right. We have clients that will lift weights 2 days a week, okay, for a half an hour. So that's an hour of committed time, 2 half an hours. And then on all the other days, they put on a vest and they go for a walk. We call it rucking. That's awesome. Your body is resisting a load. You're getting a cardiovascular health. You're getting outside, social interaction, walking with friends, rucking with friends, etc. Fantastic. But the key components to all that, 2 days of resistance training, loaded walking, rucking, right? Load is present. Resistance is present. Something to challenge your body, to challenge your frame, to change. Change will not occur unless some type of challenge is present that it has to overcome. Okay, so we all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. In this case, you have to manipulate load in a new load to get a different result. We can't just expect that I'm going to move these 10-pound dumbbells and eventually I'm going to have this amazing frame. You'll see some change, but at some point you're going to have to change that. You have to do something different to get a different result, or else we're going to go insane just manipulating the same 10-pound weights over and over and over again. So yeah, mindset is good there. Do a reality check on your thoughts. While at the gym, remind yourself that no one is looking at you or judging you. They're really focused on themselves. This is true. Goldman says, also remember the thoughts and the facts that she had a self-critical thought. I'm looking silly because I don't know how to use this machine. Example. That's about the only time where someone is going to look at you, okay? Is you get on a machine backwards. There's a machine called the pec deck, right? Where you sit on it and you have a little handles and you're pulling your arms together in the center. Some people will face the other direction and do flies and pull apart. They're doing that on purpose. But if you don't know that, you could look at that and be like, look at this fool. He's on the machine backwards. I mean, look at the picture. The guy's clearly facing the other direction, right? It's situations like that where you're like, oh, it's designed to be, to be used in that direction as well. Where other times we'll see some folks, sometimes I'm like, you're doing this just to get on camera because it's so ridiculous, You'll see somebody get in the leg press backwards and their back is against the plate and their feet are against the chair and you're like, for real? I mean, the picture obviously shows you this is not the way to do it. Anyhow, the only time someone is really going to be looking at you and going, look at this fool or look at this person is if you're doing something really dumb or dangerous. Outside of that, I mean, we're all there with the mission and the focus of I'm here to improve and better myself. But with that said, you're also in a mindset of I am here with these other folks. And I've had plenty of workouts where I'm there by myself. I don't know anyone, but the person next to me is getting after their workout. And I'm like, this person's working hard. I'm going to level up. I don't want to be like the slacker in the room. And you'll step up to the challenge. You'll be like, dude, let's go. I like this. I want to feed off of this. So that can be a very cool thing when you are kind of present to others around you is feeding off the energy too. Temper your expectations. Okay, remember this is a process. It's going to be a slow learning curve. With that said, however, my analogy is you're an unwatered plant. Okay. As soon as I start to water it, it's going to take off. It's going to grow. And that is no more true than the first time you start to exercise. The first 2 to 3 months that you implement a resistance training program specifically into your life, you will see drastic change. I mean, In as little as one workout, people will feel changes, let alone actually see them a little bit. Like when someone's never had a pump before, right? You do a whole bunch of curls and your arms get swollen and you're like, holy cow, my arm, I've never seen it look like that. I've never seen anything like stick out. Look at the veins in my forearms. What's going on? I've never seen that before. That is a physical change due to what you just did. But wait an hour, that'll go away, okay? It's one of those things that you'll notice an immediate response, but the more you keep doing that, the consistency of it, everything starts to change. All of a sudden, your arms just kind of look swollen and nice all the time. I'm sure you guys have seen people where you're like, that dude just do a bunch of push-ups because his arms are really, he's like swollen, he looks really nice. And they're like, that's the unpumped version of them, right? Like when they're exercising, it's even better. That's because they've been super consistent and they've built up to this point. That's kind of the goal for everybody, is where I want to be someone, when they look at me, they go, that guy exercises, that guy can move weight, that guy looks strong, that person's solid. Like there's no greater compliment than when I give somebody a hug and they're like, dude, you're solid. Like that to me is music to my ears. That's exactly what I want someone to say, as opposed to, oh, you're so soft and squishy, right? And I feel like I could just mold into your little pudgy body. I've been that version of me too, and it's not fun. I want to be that, like that guy lifts. And I think we all kind of want that deep down. Like we want people to look and be like, look at, honor the effort that I've put in, recognize the effort that I've put in, and I've worked hard for this. My mother-in-law is a great example, okay? She does it in front of us because it's just kind of a tease, but she'll like flex and show me her muscles. And she's got legit muscles, like did not have those before. And I'm super impressed. But she's not, wandering around the mall being like, bro, check it out, check it, like that's not in her personality. But she could, like she literally has made that significant of a change, So it's in all of us where we want to have some recognition for like, look at all the hard work I've put in. Look at the 30 pounds of body fat that I've lost. Look at the pants that I can now fit in. Look at from simple things of like, I can think more clearly. I've got off 2 of my 4 medications. I lowered my cholesterol. I sleep better. I have more feeling and sensation in my fingertips now that my neuropathy has dulled, not healed, because you can't, but it can dull, right? My arthritis has reduced, not healed, but reduced. So I can articulate my hands and my wrists, my feet better. Like these are all things that in 3 to 6 months, less than that, in 2 to 3 months, you can have significant change in your body. But a lot of times, like no one's gonna see that, you know what I mean? They're not gonna know. And unless it's like, I haven't seen you in a year situation, which is cool when you go to conferences, that kind of thing. Like you get to see these huge changes in people. We want recognition for that. We want that. And so, when we say like, I know I'm ranting here a little bit about tempering your expectations, like know that you're going to make some pretty good changes here, especially if you're like, I'm committed every other day. I'm in the weight room every other day of that. I'm going to be out walking, and you make that commitment and wait till you see what you look like in 3 months. And you're going to want to go around and flex and like show people how fit you are. And in the circle of loving people around you, do it. Like I've noticed too, again, longer rant made longer, but I've noticed too that in doing this, it's not an arrogant thing, but it's a way to kind of connect and inspire others around you, is that if I can do it, so can you, right? My mother-in-law and my father-in-law inspire their colleagues, their friends, their people around them. They're like, look, I'm getting in good shape. I can go out and do these things. My dad has now, kind of stepped in and like starting to incorporate some more fitness. Well, I just share it on Instagram and on Facebook. People get inspired. Hey, good for your dad. I saw him doing it. I'm ready to make this. So this is going to go a little further than you think. Like I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, is that though we're trying to temper your expectation of like what's really going to happen here, it could be amazing. It could be fantastic. The more committed you are, you might see slight changes and just feel a little bit better. Either way, you're only going to benefit from this, and never really lose that mindset of like, who might I inspire along the way? Not that that's our goal to set out, but it does happen. Okay, it can happen. That was a very long take on number 8, sorry. All right, taking baby steps. All right, so in 10 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes on the elliptical, when you're done, you may feel a certain way, you're ready to head home. What if you did another 15? Okay, baby steps. Let's look at it this way. Once in the facility, put away all your stuff, get out, and you want to do 10 to 15 minutes of some of the machines, 10 to 15 minutes on a bike or an elliptical or a treadmill or whatever it is you're going to be on. I love walking. I don't think the ellipticals and the stair climbers and a lot of that stuff's built for everybody. So I'd rather be on something where I can set my natural gait, and I would rather you go outside and walk, but if you're going to be in the gym and you're walking, walk on a treadmill, okay? So 15 minutes of resistance training, 15 minutes of walking, there's 30 minutes. If I started doing that every day or every other day, gold. I mean, I could not be happier with that. That is a great baby step. And you would be hard pressed to find someone where you could literally say, I don't have a half hour in my life to do this. If it's important to you and you prioritize it, you will make time to do it, just like anything and everything else. Okay. I think I don't know, I saw something about how like the average person spends 2 hours a day searching their social medias, looking on the internet, that kind of thing. Not 2 hours straight, but 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, pieces of it before bed, when I wake up, etc. When you're going through all that and you add it all up, yeah, I mean, you've got an hour to 2 hours of time. Well, there's 30 minutes I could take out of my life right there and be like, I'm going to go walk on the treadmill. I'm going to go for my walk. I'm going to do my resistance training program. Buy a couple kettlebells, guys. You don't even need a gym membership, right? You get 2 or 3 kettlebells, you're gold. You can just store them. Look, they're right there. I mean, and they're right there all the time. I can use those whenever I want, a couple times a day, you know? I mean, fitness doesn't have to be, I got to go to the gym. Here's my window. I've got an hour. I'm in, I'm out, I'm back, I'm showered, I'm cleaned. You could do a little workout in the morning. You could do some mobilities in the afternoon. You could do a yoga class at night or Tai Chi. Dude, like whatever, anything, everything. I encourage you. And you always get the people, don't do too much. You don't want to do too much. Get over involved and over committed to this in a good way. Meaning like, don't go so much where you hurt yourself, but this is only good stuff. Like you're only encouraging your body to be better. So yeah, eat healthier, drink more water, like sleep more, rest and recover more, exercise more often. Be smart about it, but do, like, get committed. And we take a baby step. That doesn't mean like just do little bits of this and we'll slow. No, it means like be smart with each step of what you're doing. Progress slowly, but keep progressing. Like this is a constant climb. And I'll tell you this too, you're never gonna be fit. We're never gonna get to the point where you're like, I've arrived, I've made it, I can now retire from fitness. I am as fit and as elite as I'm ever gonna be. I cannot get any healthier, any stronger, any better. This is the best version of me. You're never gonna get to that point. Because at any given point, you could say, here's where I was, here's where I am now, okay? And there's a drastic, huge change, but we're always gonna be like, but I could get a little blank. I could get a little stronger. I could get a little more flexible. I could eat a little cleaner. I could get a little leaner. I could whatever, right? We're always going to have a little thing that we want to get a little bit better. We could do a little bit more. The purpose is the journey as you go. And now this is your new version of life. It's not a 12-week challenge and then I'll go back to what I was doing. You're like, This is the new path. We're not taking this path for 12 weeks. This is the path. My life is now going that direction, which includes resistance training 3 to 4 times a week, rucking 3 to 4 times a week, eating well, sleeping well, hydrating, doing all this, prioritizing my health. I simply kind of call it, I stole this from Dan John, just like being a grown-up, right? Says the guy that still eats kid cereal, okay? But I'm eating it with protein powder on top, which is a vegan protein powder. And I'm having it with oat milk instead of cow milk, right? And my cereals that I'm selecting are a little bit less sugar and such, but still, I like the little kids' cereals, right? Like Captain Crunch and peanut butter cups and whatever else, Count Chocula. Like those are all things that I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna have this as my little snack to encourage and go through my, with what I'm going to do, it's the best version I'm gonna make it, but I'm still enjoying a little bit. I don't want to eat Special K. I don't think it tastes like, Special K is actually pretty good. I don't want to eat grape nuts. Garbage. I mean, I'd rather eat like grain, which is pretty much the same thing. It's not good. Sorry, grape nuts, but your cereal sucks, right? It does not taste good. Why do you think everybody throws everything else on top of it? Because they're like, this is healthy for me. But it tastes like garbage. So let me put blueberries and let me put this and let me put that on top of it. You're trying to dress up a turd, it tastes like shit. Don't eat it, right? Let me find something that I enjoy that's a healthiest version. A Magic Spoon makes great versions of our cereals. That's what I like, okay? And then you add your proteins, you have your best, your healthiest versions of whatever little snack foods you have. Here is my example, okay? I'm still enjoying and living life, but this is my new route, my new path, is if I'm going to have cereal, I'm gonna make it the best, healthiest version of cereal that I can, that I enjoy. And that's gonna go across the board for my eating, my sleeping, my hydrating, my training, my recovery, all of this, it's acting like a grown-up, okay? As best we can. All right, give yourself positive reinforcement 100%, okay? Notice how good you feel when you realize, or when you release the endorphins and the serotonin. You're gonna feel that lifter's high, worker outer high, runner's high, whatever it is that you're doing, you're definitely gonna experience that, and it's great. It's the reason why we do what we do. You feel very euphoric, your body feels light and energetic, and you feel, like, man, this was super cool. And especially when you do a workout where you look at it ahead of time, like you can either write it out or it's written out for you, and you're like, boy, this is gonna be tough. There's a little part of you that's like, I don't wanna do this. And the other part's like, you can do this. And the angel and the devil, and they're do, right? Just start. And if you just get started and then halfway, you're like, I got this. And then as you're almost done, you're like, I totally got this. And then when you finish, you're like, I'm so glad I did this. But there's that little bit in the very beginning. I always joke and say, nobody ever regretted, I shouldn't have done that workout, right? You always feel better afterwards, no matter what. You can be tired, you can be grumpy, you can be sleepy, you can be whatever the emotion is, whatever the feeling is, as long as you're not injured and you just made your injury worse, outside of that, exercise, you will feel better. All right, gang, pretty good review, I think. I don't know, I probably rambled a bit too much, but you get a chance to look through this a little bit more. Your gym anxiety, I think these are some pretty good strategies. Dr. Goldsmith, what was it? Goldman? Yeah, Goldman and my buddy Pete McCall, both commenting in there, bringing in some very good suggestions for how to deal with anxiety when you're headed to the gym. This is your journey, and I wish you all the best on it. I hope videos and reviews like this help you. I want to give you some real insight. Instead of just coming on and going, sarcopenia, it's an issue, and let's give some answers. What do we do? If you're going to go to the gym for the first time, these are 10 things that you are going to experience. I hope in the last 28 minutes, I gave you some feeling of comfort and expectation and a bit of know-how where you're like, all right, I feel pretty well armed going to the gym now. I'm not going to be overly intimidated, but I know I'm going to a new environment, and here are some things to expect. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you're all doing well. And please subscribe, please like and share the video. Always happy to have our content shared out there. And if there's anything topic-wise, anything like that you would like me to do some reviews on, always feel free to comment below and let me know. Love you guys. Thank you. Head over to trainingtheolderadult.com for more information from me, or I will see you in the next one. Take care.